Here's your wrestling news for September 28th, 2020. Guys, today we're going to start off with 6 things WWE subtly told us at Clash of Champions 2020, followed by your daily dose of wrestling news. WWE Clash of Champions is in the history books, and the show had plenty of action for fans to see. The third pay-per-view inside the Thunderdome, the company planned on having every title on the line. And whilst that didn't happen, the company did accomplish a lot during the 3-hour pay-per-view and revealed things they probably didn't plan on. Here are 6 things WWE subtly told fans at Clash of Champions 2020. Number 6. WWE doesn't know what to do with Drew McIntyre. With Clash of Champions in the history books, it seems that the Drew McIntyre vs. Randy Orton feud is finally over. And though many predicted the Viper to win his 14th world title, believing that the ambulance match stipulation was added to protect Drew, the opposite happened. Not only did McIntyre retain his title in an ambulance match, but this may be the least impressive showing from the Scotsman since his title victory at WrestleMania 36. But that's not taking away from the excellent match, which ran for over 20 minutes and was a far cry from the methodical, aka boring pace Orton usually has. The reason why we said it was Drew's worst showing is that it wasn't him who retained the title per se, but really the legends that retained the gold for him, as Orton was attacked by the Big Show in the ring, Christian backstage, and suffered a sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels before lightly being shoved off the ambulance roof. The cherry on the cake was Ric Flair driving the beaten Viper away in a doorless ambulance, though we can't shake the fact that the babyface had 4 legends on his side with a combined age of 220, which didn't make Drew's win look strong. Though it seems this feud is over, there have been reports that WWE is planning a Hell in a Cell match between the two for next month, and it's possible that Orton could request the stipulation to stop any outside interference. If this match goes ahead, then surely Orton has to win, as these repeated losses have damaged his star power greatly. Though if he does, fans can expect a pay-per-view rematch in this saga that should have already ended. Number 5. Retribution is already finished. WWE Clash of Champions 2020 proved to be a great night for the Hurt Business, as Bobby Lashley retained his United States title against Apollo Crews, crushing the former title holder with the Hurt Lock. Though there was a lot of speculation about Retribution interfering in this match, especially after the brawl with the Hurt Business on Raw, that didn't happen, as Retribution were kind enough to not interfere at all during the show. This lack of action marks the 3rd straight pay-per-view that Retribution have skipped after first missing SummerSlam, then Payback a week later, and now Clash of Champions. Despite the group promising to tear down WWE and rebuild it in their own image, the group haven't been doing much tearing down as of late, and have become far less menacing since their promo on last week's Raw was met with ridicule, both online and reportedly backstage. The fact that WWE signed the group of anarchists has confused fans, though with each passing week of little to no action, the group becomes less and less menacing, with many believing the group are already past the point of salvage. Whatever the reason for Retribution missing Clash of Champions, last night's event proved to be a good show for Lashley and the Hurt Business, and as long as MVP's stable continues to be on pay-per-views, they know they'll be safe from Retribution. Number 4. WWE is fully behind the Street Profits, but not for why you'd think. WWE couldn't host Clash of Champions 2020 without their Raw Tag Team Champions in action, and once again, the Street Profits defeated Andrade and Angel Garza to retain their gold. With a reported hip injury for Angel Garza, it wasn't surprising that the Street Profits won, as the company doesn't have many options to begin with. It's no secret that WWE's tag division on Raw and SmackDown is incredibly shallow, which may be why the team of Ford and Dawkins have become the most successful Raw tag team since 2016 and The New Day. We're not sure if Clash of Champions was the end of the Street Profits Andrade and Angel Garza feud, though it's doubtful, especially since there aren't many teams for them to feud with. Last night's match didn't end in a great way either, as the ref counted Angelo Dawkins' pinfall on Andrade, despite it being clear that Andrade kicked out, a bizarre finish that the commentary team couldn't help but bring attention to. This is the third example of bad officiating in recent weeks, as Mickie James was recently deemed unable to compete when she was fine, and Retribution's debut match on last week's Raw didn't end as planned either. It's now being reported that an audible was called by someone in the back who told the ref to finish the match, possibly due to Garza's hip injury. If WWE does plan on having this feud continue, hopefully with competent officiating, then the company runs the risk of the entire tag team division becoming extremely stale. And with these superstars having been involved with each other since before WrestleMania 36 earlier this year, getting stale is something that many fans believe has already happened. Number 3. The women's division has major fallout. Though WWE touted Clash of Champions 2020 as the night where every title is on the line, that didn't transpire, as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax were pulled from their title match, as it was said that they weren't medically cleared. Of course, this meant that Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan didn't get their title match last night, and on Twitter, Jax teased that her tag team partner was expecting, along with a pregnancy emoji, though Baszler later clarified that she's expecting to die from a broken heart caused by the Minnesota Vikings. This wasn't the only women's match changed, as Nikki Cross was also pulled from the show, and interestingly replaced in her SmackDown Women's title match against Bayley with Asuka, who'd already retained her Raw Women's title by defeating Zelina Vega in a match that was bumped up from the pre-show. It's likely that we'll see these title matches happen this week on Raw and SmackDown, but with a division that doesn't have Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, or Becky Lynch, having even more talented stars be unable to compete is the last thing you need. Number 2. The Sami Zayn Era Has begun. It's hard to say what the match of the night was at Clash of Champions, and though that crown may go to the Universal title match from a storytelling point of view, it was the opening Intercontinental title ladder match that wins out when it comes to being a pure in-ring masterpiece. With Jeff Hardy putting his title on the line against Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, the match had big expectations going in, and those expectations were met and exceeded thanks to some ingenuity from the Canadian. Using handcuffs, Zayn attached Jeff's earlobe to a ladder, and though it wasn't as graphic as Randy Orton twisting Hardy's ear at Hell in a Cell 2018, it was still an OMG moment that we're sure will be featured on WWE's end-of-the-year replays. When Zayn tried a similar tactic with Styles, though, he found himself handcuffed to the Phenomenal One, though a spare key kept in his mouth proved to be the difference maker, allowing the Great Liberator to capture both Hardy and his own titles, to become the undisputed Intercontinental Champion in a fantastic showing by all three superstars. For years, fans rallied behind Zayn as someone who deserved more than what he was receiving, and now he's receiving all that and more, and after months away, is the best he's looked in years. Number 1. The Roman Reigns fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. When it was confirmed that Jey Uso would face Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions, many fans scoffed at the idea, with some even accusing the big dog of nepotism behind the scenes. Instead, what fans got at Clash of Champions was the culmination of an incredible feud between the two, which many have said has been better than the feud between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt from earlier this year. Whilst the family aspect of the Reigns-Uso feud has made for interesting TV, Roman's character transformation has kept us glued to our screens, and after his heel turn was further teased on the Go Home episode of SmackDown, fans witnessed it tenfold at Clash of Champions. The initial story of their match focused on Reigns, the more experienced main eventer, dominating, and though Jey Uso did come close to winning the match and the Universal title at times, we all know that there's no plans for the big dog to lose the gold anytime soon. We finally got to see another side of the heel Roman Reigns, where he brutally beat down Jey Uso, forcing Jimmy Uso to come out and eventually throw in the towel despite his brother's refusal. The fact that Jey refused to give up certainly helped him, as did his refusal to refer to his cousin as the Tribal Chief, though Jimmy uttered those words to calm Reigns down. With Heyman putting the garland on Roman, cementing him as the Tribal Chief, Corey Graves asked the pertinent question of what will Reigns do to those who aren't his blood, and we can't help but wonder the same. Clearly, there was a lot of good and bad at Clash of Champions, though there was other news, and we're starting with huge news that was made during the pay-per-view itself. Before last night's main event between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, WWE announced Hell in a Cell will take place on October 25th, a week earlier than its original date. This change of date means that Hell in a Cell can happen in the Thunderdome before WWE's current deal with the Amway Center expires at the end of October. It's possible that Hell in a Cell will be the final pay-per-view inside the Thunderdome, especially with Florida entering Phase 3 of reopening, and with last year's controversial ending between Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, WWE will be hoping for a much better experience at Hell in a Cell 2020. Hell in a Cell wasn't the only huge announcement at Clash of Champions, as during the show, WWE confirmed when their next draft will take place. It was confirmed that the draft will be a two-night event, with the first night being on the October 9th SmackDown before it's concluded on the October 12th Raw. It'll be interesting to see who is moved to where next month, though we've previously reported that AJ Styles will be moved to Raw, and we'll have to wait and see who joins the Phenomenal One as the landscape of WWE is about to change. And finally today we're ending with news from the Thunderdome, as if you thought the Amway Center looked different during Clash of Champions, there's a reason why. During last night's show, WWE used smaller screens in the Thunderdome for virtual seating around the ring, which meant that there was room for a lot more fans in the arena. Having smaller screens for fans also means that the fans were presented in a more true-to-life scale to what an actual crowd might look like, and also minimizes any rude messages fans may have. And we'll have to see what happens next with the Thunderdome, as WWE now has much more options with Florida's recent reopening.